What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I appreciate each and every one of you all because without you, it doesn't work. So shout out to the gentlemen, the ladies, the kids, and everybody else because it's all of you that end up creating this great community. It's Friday night. Just got finished doing the live stream. Shout out to everybody that comes in and supports the channel. Shout out to David Wiley. Happy birthday to you. I would have done you a birthday shout this morning, but I didn't know because you didn't go as a channel member to the Thrive site and say, hey, here I am. So if you're a channel member, please go to the community tab. There's a post in there with a link to the Thrive site that we have, okay? My wonderful wife Tracy takes care of it. If you got questions or things you want to see on the channel and all that, you can send an email, you can send your picture of you at the shot glass, you get a discount on merchandise and special stuff, and you get your birthday shout out. So make sure you do that. But we were having a discussion tonight on the live stream about Amari Cooper. And we have all the arguments about Amari, and I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer on Amari Cooper, but I know this much. The $22 million that we're paying him is a problem if we're not getting the $22 million worth of production. And I did an exercise where I was going through all the top receivers, and you look at Cooper Kupp with 154 receptions, you go down the list. I went down the whole list. We had Blake Jarwin and CeeDee Lamb, and the list stopped before we even got to Amari Cooper. I hear the argument, everybody saying, well, before Amari Cooper got there, Dak's numbers were 6.7. Well, yes, this is true, because we had garbage receivers. We didn't have CeeDee Lamb. Hell, we didn't have Cedric Wilson. When Amari Cooper came, our cupboards were bare. So I'm not sure that this is quite the same situation. Dak has also gotten to be a better quarterback since that time as well. In fact, I got to remember, I know Cole Beasley was probably the best receiver we had on that team before Amari Cooper got there. It wasn't like we had great receivers and weren't doing anything, and now all of a sudden Amari Cooper taught Dak how to throw. Amari Cooper was the only really true wide receiver. I'm not sure we can say that right now. I'm not sure we can. But be that as it may, it was something that hit me tonight as we were going through, because I was going through the contract of DeMarcus Lawrence. In the time that we've signed D-Law, since he signed that contract, we had 5 sacks the first year. And you could say, well, that was because he waited to get his shoulder operated, right? Okay. So he couldn't use that shoulder and work out with that shoulder. When he played the first game, that arm was weak. And it carried through the whole season. Okay. You can give him a pass on that one. You go to the second season, 6.5 sacks. Half of what Micah Parsons got this year as a rookie. You go through this year. He had back surgery in the offseason, hurt his foot in practice, missed all those games, and had 3 sacks. So, through the course of 3 years, I want to say 22, and 22. Is that $66 million? $66 million, and you got 14 sacks. And you're due 27. It hit me as I was going through and I was looking at that, because then I started talking about and realizing that every big contract that the Cowboys have done, I can't find a single one that we look back and say, that was a great contract, we're glad we signed him to all that money. If you can think of one, please let me know, because I can't think of one. Because I can go back to Marion Barber. At the time, they signed him to a $54 million contract. And he wasn't even a full-time starter. I think he was off the team within 2 years. I can think about Terrence Newman. Now, Terrence Newman did have a long, productive career, but it wasn't with Dallas. They paid him a whole bunch of money. He couldn't stay healthy. I think about D-Ware. D-Ware probably was your best money maker. He did have that 21 sack season. But we ended up eating a whole bunch of money off of that contract. Think about Miles Austin. Miles Austin, who played fantastic there for a year, even though he had always had hamstring issues, they still, after 1 year, paid him a big contract. Within 2 years, he was gone. Dez Bryant. And we waffled on paying Dez Bryant. Did we get value out of Dez Bryant's contract? Because after that contract, he stayed injured. Even Tony Romo. And it's like, oh, don't say nothing about Tony Romo. But we paid Tony Romo the $100 million contract, and we didn't get anything out of that one. And quite honestly, it may end up being that Dak Prescott's down that same list. Jalen Smith. We decided to pay Jalen Smith. Now, I will say, no, you know what? I'm going to say I'm wrong. I'm going to say I'm wrong. Because I can say that Tyron Smith and Zach Martins are probably the only two that I can think of big money contracts that the Cowboys made. I'm wrong. Those are the only two big money contracts that you could say paid off. And Tyron Smith was used like a piggy bank so many times they restructured his contract. So reality is, had they not used his contract as a piggy bank, they would have paid more of that money in the past, and his number would be real low now. So forgive me, I made a mistake. But other than that, as we look at Amari Cooper, who got a $100 million contract, do we believe that we're going to get $100 million out of Amari Cooper? And the funny thing is a lot of times we've gone on and we've moved past some of these big contracts. We've turned out actually playing better. Because I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because it's the contract year and you're kind of giving everything you got. I don't think it's intentional. But maybe that year after you finally get it, you relax some. You're not quite as hungry. You know, Doc Walker famously said, and I quote Doc Walker quite a bit, it's hard to be hungry when your refrigerator's full. And sometimes you don't feel like some of these guys are that hungry. Yeah, D-Law looks, I'm ready to play and all. But I just don't know. And what I know is this. New England leaves the big contracts for other guys. They let them go elsewhere. Get paid the big money, get that compensatory pick, and find other guys that are hungry to take their places. Now, you can hold on to Amari Cooper. I'm a ride or die with the Cowboys no matter what they do. Let's face it. I'm 56 years old. I'm not changing teams now. I'm going to ride and die. I've been riding and dying every damn year for the last 26 years. That's just not going to change. But we're going to have a problem fielding a team without having money coming from somewhere. You got 16 coming from Dak. That's a start. But you're still $5 million over the cap. And you still got 21 free agents that either you pay them or you pay somebody else to replace them. And we're too top heavy. Way too top heavy. And this is where we were throughout most of Tony Romo's years. We had too many big contracts for guys that were breaking down. And because they got all the money, The talent level was down here with the other guys that you had to get to fill in. And that, my friends, is a recipe for disaster. Very rarely do those big contracts work out. Hope you all have a great night. I am going to go up here and I'm going to get me a nice shower. I'm going to carry my behind to bed. Make sure you tell someone you love them tonight. Love you guys. Peace. God willing, I'll see you in the morning.